All right, guys, welcome to the show. So of course, we got stuff on Israel and Gaza today. It is absolutely unavoidable. We also have Bernie Sanders weighing in, asked if he supports a ceasefire and gives, Bernie, what are you doing? A very poor answer, to say the least. We also have religious psychopaths, the evangelical Christians, weighing in, and they decided to down a whole bottle of crazy pills. I'm talking about Pastor John Hagee, who's a very famous evangelical Christian televangelist. Wait until you see what he's saying. Then we have more hawks beating the war drums for Iran. And then later on in the show, we have Republicans getting booed for telling the truth about Trump. I'm talking about Chris Christie and Asa Hutchinson. Wild clips. Trump is losing his mind more and more every day, and this is at the same time that Biden is plummeting in the polls because of his policy in the Middle East. And then later on, we have the new Speaker of the House tracks his 17-year-old son's porn viewing habits, and his son tracks his. Wow. That is, woo! Doesn't seem like a guy who should have power, if you ask me. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Everybody do me a big favor. Please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to keep growing the community, and it helps us in the algorithm. It doesn't cost you anything. The subscribe button is below. All right, let's dive into it here. Representative Ryan Zinke, the former Trump Interior Secretary, just introduced a bill to expel all Palestinians who aren't permanent residents from the country and bar them permanently from seeking legal status. And it already has 10 Republican co-sponsors. I mean, where do you even begin with these people, right? I don't know how they could look at a situation where Israel is carpet bombing babies and they go, yes, let's crack down on those babies. Let's make it so family members trying to escape certain death have no safe haven here. It almost reminds me of the famous stories about when the U.S. turned away Jews in the lead up to the Holocaust. That's what it feels like. So I love this. They call it the SAFE Act. The SAFE Act. It would render Palestinian Authority passport holders inadmissible to the U.S. Now, let's be clear, by the way. Palestinian Authority, they are not Hamas. And Palestinian Authority governs the West Bank. This is where Hamas is not in power. And they say, we don't care. Close enough. Amazing. It bars the DHS secretary from granting immigrant and non-immigrant status visas to covered aliens. It revokes visas issued to cover aliens on or after October 1st. It bars the DHS secretary from granting covered aliens temporary protected status. It bars the DHS secretary from granting future asylum or refugee status to covered aliens. It revokes refugee or asylum status for covered aliens if requested on or after October 1st. It bars the DHS secretary from paroling a covered alien, and it revokes parole of covered aliens if paroled on or after October 1st. And then they also say it directs the Department of Homeland Security and ICE to identify and remove covered aliens without lawful status. So basically, send armed guards around the country to try to round up people with any Palestinian ancestry or ethnicity and kick them out. What is there to say about this? There was this great cartoon that sort of exposes the absurdity of this. All lives matter. Now stay the hell out of my country, says a fat white woman holding a Bible and pointing at a maybe dead Palestinian kid with a teddy bear. It's amazing to me the extent to which the facts on the ground don't change anybody's mind about anything, right? Like the Republicans and many of the Democrats have decided we are on the side of Israel. So it literally doesn't matter what they do. Palestinians are bad guys. Israelis are good guys. We only have, 15, 20 Democrats in the House who are saying, hey, ceasefire, stop Netanyahu from carpet bombing toddlers. And people watch this unfolding and they go, yeah, I still think all Palestinians are the bad guys. Let's crack down on them. By the way, when you look at this story, you begin to realize, Jesus, how could we have ever done Japanese internment during World War II? That was such a horrendous policy. It's a crackdown on all people of Japanese descent and like saying what they're all guilty for the attacks on Pearl Harbor, even though they demonstrably aren't, and they were loyal to the U.S. And it was just, yeah, put them in internment camps. Let's do that. You look at that and go, how the hell did we get to a place where that happened? But you see this and you go, oh, yeah, I see how that could happen. You're looking at Palestinian women, children, innocent people getting bombed day in and day out by a ruthless IDF that views them all as guilty, bombing mosques and hospitals and apartment buildings and marketplaces. And they look at all of that, over 4,000 children dead, over 9,000 people dead, bombing ambulances, all this stuff, and they go, yeah, no, they're the problem. They're the problem. They're all the same. Keep them out of the United States of America. It's just so ruthless and so barbaric and so extreme and also so banal in the sense that it's just part and parcel of the U.S. government and their approach to Palestinians versus Israelis. Like, it's astonishing, man. To call it bigoted is an understatement. To call it racist is an understatement. And by the way, we snapped right back into 2003 brain mode. The idea that, you know, anybody with brown skin, anybody, and now we've already seen a spike in hate crimes too, by the way, against Arabs, Muslims, Sikhs, Hindus, anybody who just looks like they're roughly from the Middle East. It's like, oh, they're the problem. You got a Fox News host now saying, we're sick of it, we're fed up with you, Arab Americans and Muslim Americans. We're right back into 2003. Right back into it. And now I guess they want to go around rounding up people of Palestinian descent and kicking them out of the country. It's really hard to make these arguments and then turn around and with a straight face to the world say, we're the good guys and we care about human rights. You know, we're against war crimes. We're in favor of international law and the liberal world order. This is anything but that. This is anything but that. This is rank authoritarianism and bigotry masquerading as security. That's what it is. And this is standard operating procedure, especially these Republicans. As bad as the Democrats are on this, and they're bad, as Biden has been on Israel, and he's bad, you have the Republicans, their main beef, their main point of contention is, you're not hard enough on Palestinians, you're not deferential enough to Israelis, you don't suck off Bibi Netanyahu enough. And Trump's out there saying, if I get in there, I'll agree with him on absolutely everything. I'll let them finish the job. They can finish the job. Go after Hamas. Be ruthless. Be ruthless. So they're looking at the situation and they say, too soft. Too soft. Too kind to Palestinians. And this is where we are. So absolutely disgusting how we haven't advanced and evolved at all since the war on terror era. Not even a little bit. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.